Benedict, just explain us a little bit more about what exactly you're expecting to see there in Windsor.
So good morning from a rather overcast but extremely crowded already. It's called the Long Walk. Behind me you can see Windsor Castle. Windsor Castle, of course, we were already here over a year and a half ago when Prince Philip died. So what we're going to see along the Long Walk is indeed the hearse of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II that will have had that funeral service with 2,000 guests in Westminster Abbey. Westminster Abbey, of course, where she was married, where she was crowned. But today really is about the final farewell from the United Kingdom, from the Commonwealth, and from all over the world. And that's why all these dignitaries has flown in. In fact, here there will just be 800 guests. So the hearse will come, we think, around 3 p.m. this afternoon, London time, and it will process along the Long Walk. I'm sure that will be a very, very special moment here from people who have come not just from Windsor but from all over the United Kingdom. They will then proceed up to St George's Chapel and then there will be what is called a committal service. At the end of that service, the Queen's coffin will then be lowered next to her mother and her father. We think King Charles III will throw some earth on that coffin, as the Queen did, for example, for Philip, and as she also did for her father. And that is where she will lay in rest. That final bit will be done away from the cameras. But of course, what we're witnessing, yes, is a page of history. I can hear spontaneous applause. I think we've got some police starting to walk up. We're going to see lots more of those. A really good atmosphere here. But today is a very public grieving and goodbye, but of course it's a very personal grief that King Charles III, having lost his mother, the Queen Consort, yes, where we've got police with who are smiling and actually waving at the crowds. They are impressively tooled up with rifles right now. So a very public moment, but a very personal grief, as I said, for this family.
Benedict, what you're describing that's going to happen there later on, let's not forget it's many, many hours away, and already I can see people really packed in there. I'm sure those crowds are going to get even bigger as well. I mean, it's incredible the amount of time that people are giving up their day and the atmosphere there to kind of witness this event.
Indeed. Well, today is a public holiday. That's very much helping people who aren't going to work, children, families. People have come with picnic blankets, with food, with chairs, with books. They know they're in here for the long haul, and there will be a cut-off point, I think around 12 p.m. London time, or Windsor time, I should say, here, where they won't be allowing more people in. It is extraordinary. People want to be part of this. They have such respect, as we've seen, and we've been indeed on France 24 at those queues in London. We've seen those thousands and thousands of people wanting to go and mark, either say a prayer, show their admiration, their affection, their gratitude for the life of service of 70 years reigning over the United Kingdom and other realms. Of course, she was also head of the Commonwealth. So it's the way in which she has governed. And I think that soft power, which I think we will refer to throughout the day, because let's remember that these 100 or so heads of government, heads of countries, amongst which, of course, President Macron, the US President Joe Biden, Jacinda Ardern from New Zealand, the Emperor of Japan, and many, many others, including 20 people from, well, princes and princesses elsewhere than from the United Kingdom. Certainly the politicians were due to be in New York. They will be in a few days' time. They've changed their schedules completely. And I think I just want to quote one sentence from President Macron, who, as soon as news broke of the Queen's death, he said, he recorded a message, he speaks fluent English, and he said, "To you, she was your Queen. To us, she was the Queen. She will be with all of us forever." And I think that sums up actually very much how she was held in regard. And I can tell you from speaking to British journalists, British broadcasters, one of the puzzlements here is why are so many French people and broadcasters so fascinated with British royalty and particularly the Queen? So I've had to do an awful lot of explaining about that.
Benedict, I'm sure you have. Thanks very much, Bénédicte Paviot, correspondent, talking just there from Windsor to where attention will switch really a little bit later on as the coffin makes its way to Windsor for the burial later on today.